Ladies, tell me honestly, have you ever walked into a room thinking it was finally your moment, only to realize every woman in that room had already decided exactly how they felt about you? That was the energy at Kris Jenner's birthday party when Meghan Markle walked in glowing, hopeful, ready for acceptance, and instead walked straight into a wall of cold stares. And the coldest one, the one everyone is still whispering about, came from Adele. Yes, that Adele. But the snub wasn't just a moment. It was a message. And it stung. The entrance nobody was prepared for. The night was pure Beverly Hills magic. $165 million mansion glowing, golden lights draped across marble walls, and the elite of Hollywood floating around like they'd stepped out of a perfume commercial. And then Meghan arrived. Not walked, arrived. She stepped out of the car like she was auditioning for her comeback era. Glowing skin, perfect hair, a dress that whispered, "I'm back, and I belong here." But ladies, sometimes the room doesn't agree with you. You ever felt that? Have you ever walked into a gathering and instantly felt the energy shift, not in your favor? Meghan felt it before she even crossed the gate. Beside her, Harry looked like a man who would rather be anywhere else. The grocery store, the dentist, even a root canal would have felt kinder. His hand was wrapped around Meghan's like she was dragging him into a place he didn't belong. And the guests? They didn't react like, "Oh look, royalty." They reacted like, "Oh." They actually came. It wasn't excitement. It wasn't admiration. It was polite shock. That kind of tight smile women give when someone joins the table who wasn't invited to the group chat. The first layer of shade, silent judgments. Now, let's talk about the women who can destroy your confidence without saying a word, Mariah Carey and Martha Stewart. Mariah's shade is an art form. She doesn't glare, she simply chooses not to see you. A few weeks earlier, she was asked about royals she'd met. She skipped Meghan entirely and mentioned Fergie, who hasn't been a working royal in decades. So when Meghan spotted Mariah across the room, the tension was so thick you could slice it with a butter knife. Mariah didn't smile, didn't nod, didn't even acknowledge her. She floated past with the kind of confidence only a woman who has nothing to prove can carry. Martha Stewart delivered a different flavor, mature, expensive, grown woman shade. Her comment days earlier, "I hope Meghan knows what she's doing." Which, in Martha language, means she absolutely does not know what she's doing. So there Meghan was, floating through this glittering room, looking for an anchor, a familiar face, someone who would greet her with a warm "Oh hey, come join us." But the room was full of women who had already decided who she was. And they weren't interested in rewriting the script. Have you ever felt like people judged you before you even opened your mouth? What did you do? Adele, the snub heard around Hollywood. And then, Adele. Let's be honest, Adele doesn't leave her house for just anyone. She doesn't do party circuits, she doesn't chase cameras, and she definitely doesn't entertain drama. So when Adele showed up to Kris Jenner's birthday party, it meant one thing: Kris is powerful. This also meant Meghan saw an opportunity, a redemption moment. Because Meghan had tried before. She once sent Adele a high-end gift basket, artisan lemons, luxury jams, and Adele reacted with the politest rejection known to mankind. She sent it right back. No note. No smiley face. Just a soft but firm, "No, thank you." But hope can make you courageous, especially when the room feels cold and you're desperate for one familiar smile. So Meghan and Harry walked toward Adele. Harry, bless him, probably thought this would be one safe haven in the room. But what happened next? Ladies, this is the part everyone replayed in their minds. As Meghan approached, Adele smoothly, almost elegantly, turned her shoulders away and dove into a conversation with someone standing beside her. She didn't look, didn't glance, didn't pretend she hadn't noticed. She simply refused to acknowledge them. That kind of dismissal? It's colder than shade. It's ice carved into silence. And Meghan? She slowed her steps. Waited for eye contact. Waited for something. But Adele never turned. Honestly, if someone gave you that level of silent rejection, would you walk away or pretend you didn't notice? The emotional crack that no one missed. Meghan kept her smile, that glossy, Hollywood-perfect smile. But the women in that room? They noticed the flicker, the tiny break. And Harry? He looked lost, like his soul needed a charger. And here's where it gets heavier. Because while Meghan was trying to fit in with women who didn't want to stand beside her, something symbolic was happening across the ocean. In London, Prince George was standing tall, poised, stepping into his future role, earning quiet respect that Meghan and Harry have been fighting to reclaim. It's not comparison. It's reality. One future rising. One future fading. And the contrast was brutal. Ladies, the night didn't end there. The photos. The whispered conversations. The shocking after-party reactions. The tension between Harry and Meghan that everyone in that room felt. And the snubs? Adele wasn't the last one. But the real betrayal came later. Before I continue, if you're enjoying this emotional deep dive into Hollywood's coldest night, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. When the photos hit the internet, everything changed. Ladies, you know how sometimes you don't realize how bad a situation was until you see the pictures afterward? That's exactly what happened when the paparazzi photos leaked the next morning. Harry's face told a story he didn't dare to speak. His expression wasn't just tired, it was defeated. Like a man who walked into a world he no longer understands and didn't choose. Meanwhile, Meghan was smiling, big, bright, and determined, but it was the smile of a woman trying to hold an entire life together through sheer willpower. The contrast hit the internet like lightning. Within minutes, people were asking, why does he look broken? Why does she look excited while he looks drained? Are they even walking the same path anymore? And honestly, ladies, let's talk woman to woman here. Have you ever been excited for something while your partner clearly wasn't? Did it hurt? Did you pretend not to notice? Because Meghan pretended not to notice. But the world saw it. And more importantly, Hollywood saw it. The atmosphere Harry couldn't escape. Insiders later whispered that this wasn't just another party for Meghan. It was supposed to be her "see, I belong here" moment. But the truth? The room was full of quiet disappointment. Producers, agents, A-listers, women who built their careers brick by brick, not through interviews or drama. And while Meghan floated from group to group, trying to engage, trying to find someone who would pull her in, the powerful women kept their distance. And Harry felt it. He felt the stares. He felt the whispers. He felt like a man trapped in a life that doesn't fit him. One insider put it simply. Harry looked like a guest at his own wife's dream, not his. That line stuck with me. Because we've all seen that dynamic before, haven't we? Do you think a marriage can survive if both people want totally different lives? Hollywood does not forget, but it does move on. And here's the part that stung the most. This wasn't just about Meghan being ignored at a party. This night exposed a bigger truth. Hollywood has quietly, slowly, and steadily moved on from the Sussex storyline. Behind the scenes. Netflix isn't happy. Meghan's lifestyle brand keeps getting delayed. Spotify walked away completely. Their popularity in the US and UK is slipping. And celebrities, the ones Meghan hoped would form her new circle, are keeping a polite, chilly distance. Hollywood doesn't hate them. Hollywood is simply bored. And bored is worse than angry. Because anger means people still care. Boredom means they don't. That's why Adele's silence hit so hard. It wasn't "I don't like you." It was "you're not part of this world anymore." Ladies, that's the kind of rejection that stays with you. What hurts more, someone confronting you directly, or someone quietly freezing you out? The moment the party shifted, the final snub. Now here comes the part people at the party said was the most uncomfortable moment of the entire night, even more awkward than Adele turning her back. It happened near the end, when the energy was loosening and groups were gathering in tighter circles. Meghan approached a group of women she thought she could connect with, actresses, influencers, high-profile spouses, women she assumed would be warm. But they didn't open the circle. They closed it. Subtly, elegantly, but unmistakably. A tiny step inward. A slight turn of shoulders. A protect the circle movement every woman recognizes instantly. Meghan stopped mid-step, smiled, pretended she hadn't been walking toward them, and turned away. That wasn't shade. That was boundary. A painful, unmistakable boundary. And Harry? He watched it. He saw it. And insiders say his face changed. For the first time that night, he looked not sad, but angry. Not at the women. Not even at the room. At the situation. At the life they created. At the path he didn't quite choose. That was the crack no one could ignore. After the party, the whisper that shocked everyone. One insider said that as Harry and Meghan were leaving, someone muttered under their breath, "They won't last like this." And whether it was meant cruelly or honestly, the sentiment echoed what many people in that room felt. Two people walking together, but living two different stories. Meghan chasing acceptance and relevance. Harry chasing peace and normalcy. And Hollywood sees it. Every step. Every strained smile. Every mismatched emotion. This night didn't break them, but it revealed the cracks that were already there. What this night really meant. This wasn't just a party. This was a mirror. It showed Meghan the life she wants, but can't quite reach. It showed Harry the life he left, and maybe regrets leaving. It showed Hollywood what they had suspected, that the couple isn't the powerful force they once positioned themselves as. And Adele's elegant, silent snub? That was Hollywood's way of saying, "We're done with this chapter." Ladies, if you want the truth behind Hollywood's coldest nights, the real emotions, the hidden whispers, the unspoken betrayals, make sure you subscribe, hit the like button, and tell me in the comments. Do you think Harry and Meghan can survive this widening gap, or is this the beginning of their final chapter? Your thoughts always make these stories come alive. Yellow Heart.